welcome to this, another TV review with me, Actor Thomas. And today we are going to do Doctor Who, The Girl in the Fireplace. Now, this episode starts off with the TARDIS materialising in what seems to be a derelict spaceship in the 51st century. On board, of course, is the Doctor, Rose, and new companion, Mickey. Now, as they are wandering around this seemingly derelict spaceship, peculiar things begin to happen. One of the things is the Doctor finds a 17th or 18th century fireplace, which, when you look through it, the Doctor sees a young girl. And the Doctor makes his way through the fire and starts speaking to this little girl, who introduces her as Reinette, and she lives in Paris in the year 1760 something. I'm not exactly sure. But as the Doctor is talking to this little girl, he hears a mysterious ticking noise, and he looks under the little girl's bed, and he sees a humanoid masked individual. As he makes him come out, he asks what is their reason for being here. After a little discussion, the Doctor goes back and talks about what he has seen through the fireplace. And he wants to send Mickey and Rose off to try and find these machines. He goes back to the fireplace, and he goes to a party and has a bit of a whale of a time. Alternatively, what happens is, at the same time, Rose and Mickey are captured by these clockwork individuals and are held hostage. And the Doctor comes in later on, quite drunk, and becomes aware that something is happening, because what these clockwork beings are looking for is trying to get the little girl to the perfect age so they can use her brain to fix the spaceship. It is around this time when the Doctor discovers that the little girl, Reinette, is Madame de Pompadour. The next time the Doctor goes through a fireplace, Reinette is a young woman, and after a bit of a flirtation between herself and the Doctor, she gets called by her mother and she has to go off. And the Doctor is kind of falling for her at this point. Later on, after a bit more investigation and a few more years passed, the Doctor re-meets Reinette, who now is the official mistress of the King of France, and the Doctor believes that she is almost one of the most beautiful women in the world. After, like I say, a bit more investigation, because of course, even though it's taking the Doctor years, every time he leaves, it leaps a few months or years between meetings, him and Reinette. It's only really a day on the 51st century spaceship. The Doctor goes and he talks to Reinette and tries to explain to her why these aliens want her to be the perfect age, and see why they need her, and explain to her that the spaceship has been completely destroyed. What the crew have done is they actually use parts of their own anatomies to help fix the spaceship. Now, after a bit more of a building of relationship between the Doctor and Reinette, there is a big fancy dress ball, and the Doctor, Rose and Mickey are still in the spaceship, but all of the humanoid clocks are in Paris, and they are all guests, and they're going to hold everyone else hostage. Then the Doctor does something very unusual, something that he would never normally do. All of the other entrances through mirrors and fireplaces throughout Reinette's life have all been sealed by the clockwork humanoids, apart from one, which is one massive mirror in the room where the costume ball is being held. And the only way the Doctor can get through is by breaking the mirror and shattering his only one way of getting back to Rose, Mickey and the TARDIS. And he does it for love. He gets on the back of a white horse, jumps through the mirror to save Madame de Pompadour. After he did this, he defeats the clockwork individual humanoids, and he declares that he wishes to stay with Madame de Pompadour. After a while, it obviously soon becomes clear that the Doctor is finding it difficult, and he regrets doing it. And him and Reinette attempt to find a new, unbroken or unlocked way back to the 51st century. It is finally done, and they find one that the Doctor can go through. The Doctor invites to say, you can come with me if you like. You could live a life among the stars and be with me as a companion forever. She turns him down and says, even though it would be wonderful to see different times and different worlds, her place is by the side of the King in Paris. The Doctor does one final visit. Unfortunately, this final visit is too late. As the Doctor arrives in Madame de Pompadour's bedroom, her coffin is being taken down the long drive after her death. One of her servants hands the Doctor a letter that Madame de Pompadour had written weeks before her death, describing her love and affection for the Doctor, and hoping that whatever happens to him, he'll have a good and happy world and happy life for the rest of his, as she, apart from having one true love, which was him, taking away from her. Once he'd read this letter, he returned to the TARDIS with Mickey and Rose and decided to carry on his journeys. And that's the end of the episode. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Actor Thomas's TV and movie reviews. For Doctor Who, The Girl in the Fireplace, I'm going to give this a score of number 3. Thank you very much, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.